During the 2008 presidential election, Barack Obama purchased ad space in 18 games that ran in 10 states. The Vote for Change billboards were in Burnout Paradise, Skate, Madden, and more that targeted the demographics of ages 18 to 34. Welcome to Professionally Casual Gamers, a podcast where two friends kick back after a long work week and casually talk about everything gaming. I'm your host, Alex, joined by my co-host and KK Slider simp, Ralph.
Wait, what's KKK Slider?
No. Wow, man. Not 3Ks, just 2Ks.
I messed up.
We're going to get canceled.
Oh my god.
No, we're keep going. I'm not editing it out.
Keep it rolling.
As you can hear, back by popular demand, Kohn.
Always popular demand.
Yeah. We couldn't get Jack Black for this episode, so we had to settle for Ben Kohn. How are you guys doing? How have you been?
I'm feeling right, Alex. I'm feeling right.
I'm good too. As holiday season's coming up, and I'm about to go on a video game bender, so I'm just trying to get this done so I can play all the video games I'm missing still.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I wish I had that. I mean, obviously, with
you're playing Temtem.
Yeah, playing Temtem with Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and then like New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. So there's a lot of breaks for the working adults, the professionally casual.
Yeah, I wanted the 2-week break that we got in school, though. That'd be
Ralph
real
has
nice
that
right now.
Well, I have a 2-week break at school.
Oh, I have. Yeah. So
I'm special.
If you've been following us on socials, you know that we did a fun little fast food tier list last week in preparation for these massive episodes covering Game of the Year topics. Things are a little backwards for our recording. So last week we actually did the full Game of the Year episode. And this week we're kind of backtracking, doing the other nominees, the other awards. So happy to be back. And yeah, they're both really awesome episodes. Put a lot of work into them.
I mean, we don't know if this one's awesome yet.
No,
we haven't done it yet.
I can already tell it's going to be awesome. The way we just started this is going to be great. There's a weird vibe per usual. So yeah, so this is episode 15A. As always, thank you to everyone who listens to our podcast. And if you're tuning in for the very first time, welcome. This is a very special time to be joining in. Yeah, so like I said, this is going to be part A, where we're going to go through different Game of the Year awards, and part B is just dedicated to Game of the Year. So that being said, let's begin with our first award. Drum roll.
Yes.
Least anticipated game.
Wow, wait a
so we're coming out swinging here.
Yes, right.
That's the tone.
We're starting low and then we're gonna end high, I guess.
What if the last award's not even like, it's like a non-factor? Like,
yeah, it's like actual worst game of it might be. I haven't scrolled down, but so our nominees for least anticipated game of 2021, right? So this is looking forward, and some games that were like, rather not. We've got Halo Infinite, Outriders, League of Legends, The Ruined King, and Prince of Persia Remaster.
Okay, so what is Outriders? Because that's the only one.
Sure, yeah. So that Outriders came from me. Outriders is this new game from Square Enix that's going to be coming up in the spring. It's essentially their Destiny. So it's
going to be great since it's from Square Enix.
I'm honestly hoping that it's good. I'm just not looking forward to it because there's just too many of them at this point. There's just so many looters out there.
So it's the games as a service kind of 10-year plan.
Square Enix did so well with their Avengers that they're going to do a different one now.
It's Avengers?
Or Avengers.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, like, there's just so many looters at this point. It's not just like games as a service.
Godfall tried.
Right. Like, it's just like they want to go, oh, like Destiny's really good, and they've been running that for a couple of years. Let's do that. So like everyone's trying to do that.
I kind of like. I hate the game industry in that regard, where they go through like quote unquote fads or phases.
Yeah, well, they're like
MMOs, open worlds, MOBAs, and now looter.
FPSs for COD during all that time.
Yeah, it's kind of obnoxious. Like, just give me my good narrative games. I don't know.
My main issue with the specifically these type of games is just you need to put in too much time, dude. Like,
yeah, it's not good for professional casual.
Enough time. No, it's just that there's not enough time for I hate you. There's not enough time for all the games. There's not enough oxygen. So like if someone's playing Destiny, they're not going to jump into Outriders. They've spent 1,000 hours in Destiny. Why would they jump into Outriders?
Yeah, I mean, that's the usual issue with those types of games where it's like, oh, this is going to be the League of Legends killer. Like, dude, they're already playing League. It's going to take a lot to actually move them from this game that they, like, schedule their life around into your MOBA.
Yeah, they're already, like, well integrated into that ecosystem. So, that being said, I think we kind of went off on a tangent on how this might be the least anticipated game. But honestly, this, like, wasn't even on my radar.
Yeah, and now has become more on my radar, and I kind of hate it on principle.
So now you want it.
My vote is actually for League of Legends Ruin King.
Because dude, you are such a hypocrite. I thought it was Prince of Persia Remastered.
Well, that was more of a meme.
So here's the thing with League of Legends Ruin King. So Riot's been doing this like huge campaign where they're releasing peripheral games. They're releasing
games up the ass.
Yeah, they're releasing like trailers for everything. They're like building hype, right? And they're like, oh, here's this narrative-driven game with the actual characters in League of Legends, not like Valorant where it's just set in the world, but it's just like not like Valorant, no, where it's just like random people. They're like actually like Misfortune, Yasuo, Illaoi, etc. And then they, yeah, and so, well, I mean, if you play the game, you know, like you know them. And then when they showed the trailer at, I want to say it was Game Awards, it literally looked like an internet browser game.
Honestly, have you guys played Battle Chasers Night War?
I've never heard of Battle.
Oh, that's the guy. God, I always forget his name. It starts with an M, but he does a bunch of comics.
M. Night Shyamalan.
No, but he does a bunch of comics. Like the art style was cool. But,
so they made a video game for Battle Chasers Night War. It's essential. It's like identical to League of Legends Ruin King. I'm sure. I have a feeling that they're the same developers. So that
it certainly might be. I don't know. It looked cheap.
Yeah.
To be honest, like the moving around the world was like, okay, whatever. But the actual like the battle system, like it's just super simple 2D combat. And if you're gonna do like turn-based, like I don't know, after playing like Persona and like now Temtem, like I can't just go back to vanilla turn-based combat, which it very much looks
Alex
like.
is such a Temtem like convert now. It's a kind of
I am.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree, but my vote, I think it goes to Halo Infinite. I know that sounds really shitty, but like Halo Infinite, I don't know if there's enough time to make that good. Like I don't know, man. Like I don't know if there's enough time to make that game what people expect it to be by the fall, because I'm pretty sure that's when they're planning.
Yeah, and it got moved back again. So it's correct me if I'm wrong. Are they going for a looter shooter for this one too?
I don't think so.
Infinite, I don't think so.
No,
it's more of an open world.
I think it's a story game.
Yes.
So it's just open world.
Yes. My main concern with it is that I don't think there's enough time. Also, the leads left, right, for Halo Infinite. And then I think it has the same issue Cyberpunk's going to have, because they were planning on making Halo Infinite. Because I don't know if you guys have been listening to the news where like Cyberpunk's like, oh, this is a huge case of why you shouldn't develop games cross-gen, right? Because old generation consoles are going to hold it back.
Yeah.
And so they're bringing back the scope so they can accommodate these old generation consoles. So like,
you think, so is this going to be on Xbox One as well?
I believe so. Because the plan for Halo Infinite has been for Xbox One, and also Xbox has some crazy SKUs. They have Xbox One, they have Xbox Series S, and Xbox Series X, and all of those consoles have such a large differential in performance, and so that's why I'm a little bit concerned about Halo Infinite, because they have to deal with all these SKUs, and also with Cyberpunk, I think it really brings it up to the fold of like, hey, like this might be a bad idea. So I don't know. I'm thinking Halo Infinite.
Yeah, I'll vote for League of Legends Ruin King.
Okay.
Well, on that note, did you guys see the news that the head of League of Legends just announced that there's going to be an MMO?
Yeah, he literally he tweeted it. Yeah. Oh, by the way,
I'm really excited for that. I want to play that. That would
really?
Be cool. Yes, dude. I've always enjoyed we're totally going like diverging from the topic, but I really want to play that because I love the world of League of Legends. I think the world of the lore in League of Legends is really interesting.
I do too. That's why I'm voting for League of Legends Ruin King as least anticipated game, because I feel like they did it dirty.
But I think the MMO would be cool. So yeah. All right. League of Legends Ruin King is fine. I don't have any problem with that.
Cool. Least anticipated game goes to League of Legends Ruined King.
Yahoo!
Well, yeah. Now on a brighter topic. Award number 2, Best Multiplayer of 2020.
Hit me with those nominations.
We've got Among Us, Fall Guys, Valorant, Temtem, and
Assassin's Creed New Horizons.
yeah, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Yeah, I always see AC and I think Assassin's Creed as well, but Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For this one, I have to go with Among Us. I feel like that's kind of been
it's like a cultural phenomenon this year.
I want to say something crazy here. I think it should go to Fall Guys, dude.
Fall Guys,
Yeah,
a bunch of beans going ooh over and over.
So here's my thought.
Okay,
I think
it launched terribly.
It's gonna be crazy. I think Among Us is kind of boring. If I'm being
You are crazy.
No, like seriously, I think Among Us is really boring.
Are you playing with like groups of 10 or like?
It depends on your.
It depends
people.
on the people that you're with, right? And I think Fall Guys is more consistently fun if you're playing with people. And
okay, yeah, I guess that's
there's just more
true. Like you can just
there,
hop
you know what I
in
mean?
and play Fall Guys, whereas like
Right.
Among Us is like a premeditated event.
Right. And Fall
Yeah,
Guys
like-
is just like fun in general, like by itself. And then if you play it with other people, it's more fun. And I know that Fall Guys has that weird, like, oh, it's like a flash in the pan, like they didn't have enough updates too fast. And I get that, but I think overall Fall Guys is just a better game than Among Us. And I know that I'm gonna get some flack about that. But the issue with Among Us is that one, it depends on the type of people that you're playing with. And two, I honestly think Among Us only shines when you're the killer. It's not very.
I don't mind being crewmate. I mean, if I'm the imposter like one every 4 games.
But if you're playing with when you're playing with 8, sometimes you never become killer the entire time of like a 3-hour playthrough with friends.
Yeah, I think the thing with Among Us is that it's hard to separate how much fun you're having with your friends with how much fun you're having with the game. But it is multiplayer, so that's always true. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's true that Fall Guys is just like you're gonna have a good time. You're just gonna bounce around and have fun or whatever. Among Us, there can be times where like maybe you never get imposter or like I don't know.
Also,
maybe things get too heated.
If you're just playing with randos,
randos
it's like
Among Us
not
is,
even a game.
Yeah,
it's actually just a waste of time.
Well, yeah, if you're not in Discord and like cracking jokes, you're just typing stuff. Like no way.
Yeah.
And then the other issue with Among Us too is that all right, here's the crazy thing: when you update stuff in Among Us, fundamentally the game's the same. Right, so like yes, you're getting
just a different map,
and like yes,
different
like
tasks.
I think what makes Among
Which
Us
is
fun
fine.
is your friends. But like with Fall Guys, their new update, like season 2, wasn't that good, but it was still interesting. But season 3 is really
That's
fun.
an understatement.
But season 3 is actually like super fun. So like
yeah, I was watching some gameplay of season 3, and it actually does look pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think Fall Guys has that Pokemon Go kind of vibe to it. And hear me out here. Like, I think a lot of people were thinking, oh, like Pokemon Go died so fast. But it didn't. You know what I mean? Like, there's still millions of players that play Pokemon
There
Go.
are.
It's just
And
more
I don't
along
really
the lines of
understand
instead
it,
of like
but-
50 million playing Pokemon Go, 10
Yeah.
million ended up keep on playing it for 6 years. The same thing
Yeah,
with like, Among Us, where,
the
like,
fans are die hard, and they stick.
yeah, with Fall Guys, like what 30 million started playing it at launch and then stopped playing it after 2 months, but then 10 million still play it. Because like even now, like I'm thinking, oh, like Fall Guys is dead, but no, like it's always a full lobby.
You can always find people. Yeah.
So
Yeah, and then when you do play with friends, like I remember we unfortunately only did it a few times where we had like a lobby, and that was like super fun.
yeah,
Hopping on like the party chat, and then like even if you die, like you can root on
yeah.
people in your party.
Yeah, and
so
I get the Among Us vote, but I did want to voice my opinion about Fall Guys because I think Fall Guys
honestly,
is
I'm
a
glad
better
you
game.
did, because I feel like it's easy to say, yeah, Among Us is like the best multiplayer game of the year, but like when you do think about it, like there's a lot of things that are against it to be the best multiplayer game of the year.
Is no one going to go to bat for Valorant?
I mean, I played it for a
Yeah,
day.
Yeah, I played it for a day and I was like, this is too fast for me.
It seems it's like
CSGO.
CS:GO
So yeah, if
polished.
you guys didn't enjoy that, then yeah, you probably won't enjoy Valorant either.
I mean, again, it's something that like Riot's like really pushing for.
Yeah, it feels like they're Overwatch where they're like, here comes this new first-person shooter. Everyone's like, eh.
People play it. I mean, I
think
don't
people
know.
are into Valorant. It's just
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
we're not.
I guess
the
it's
type of
just
people
probably
that
not
play it.
us.
Temtem isn't a fully released game.
Therefore disqualified.
I do love it. I think it's really cool, the change that it's making from just being that other Pokemon game. Like, I think it does have its own identity. I cleared 3 dojos. I'm just gonna wait till the full game releases in like March, just for a better experience. Animal Crossing: New Horizons. I mean, you can comment on it's
terrible,
better than us,
terrible multiplayer. Like, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You can go to their island, like punch them in the dick or whatever.
Yeah.
No, it's not even that. So, do you guys know how multiplayer works for Animal Crossing?
And you just like go on their island,
and then
right?
you punch
you
them
steal
all
their
out.
apples or something.
No, it's like terrible. So, like, let's say you open up your island for friends to come over, and so like one friend will come over, and then you have to stop everything you're doing. Like, literally, you can't do anything.
To entertain them, like real world.
No, it's not that. Like, literally, there will be a loading screen of them going onto your island. And so when they're on your island and then another friend joins, then there's gonna be another loading screen.
Sounds like Nintendo.
Yeah,
like what is
it's not a short loading screen. It's like a 45-second loading screen of you
like
doing
Bloodborne.
Kind of, yeah. So
at
like,
least you don't die on Bloodborne.
and
Yeah.
there's not really much to do in like multiplayer. Like, I feel like for Animal Crossing, it's just the type of game that they should have like mini games with when friends come over. No, like literally,
throw some darts, play some billiards.
Yeah, it was cool. I remember in the GameCube Animal Crossing, you could play like old NES games.
Get some Russian roulette.
It was like, really cool. Anyways, okay, so
where do you fall on this?
I'm going for
I
Fall
think
Guys.
that's a good transition to go for Fall Guys.
I think that's a good
Okay.
transition for Among Us. I'm still voting for that.
Do you actually?
Yeah, I still think Among Us is better. Just what's the emerging gameplay? I think that's a term. Like, it's always different, infinite possibilities. There's so many different ways to play it.
But that's
You'll
the
never
same
have
thing with Among
game
Us. I
twice.
mean, that's the same thing with Fall Guys, though. Someone
Yeah, to a lesser
grab
extent.
you.
Yeah.
Someone
The
can
thing
grab
is that like with Among Us, like, dude, if you're not playing with if you're not playing with 9 other people who like take it seriously or like are actually immersed in the game,
yeah.
then like it's just not a good experience. Like, there are some times like I've played with our friends, and some people, like maybe myself included, like aren't fully into it. So, like, when you die, like you don't finish your tasks, something like that, or like you're just like not talking.
This also sounds weird. I don't know if you guys
time.
feel this, but like sometimes when I play Among Us with friends, I feel sleepy. like I'm
No,
about to fall asleep.
because I
I'm
mean,
bored.
sometimes I'm too. Like, someone's just like dominating the conversation. Like, everyone's like yelling over each other. It's like, what am I even like doing right now? I don't know. So I think Fall Guys is overall just better because again, in Among Us, if you're not playing with your friends, you're playing with randos. Like, it's literally a waste. It's not a game.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay.
Also, when you're playing with randos, there's literally people that will leave your lobby, like if they're
Because they didn't
not-
get imposter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys are heroes. All right, I guess it goes to Fall Guys then.
Yeah.
Those
I
guys
guess.
are heroes.
All right. Best multiplayer 2020.
Goes to
Fall
Fall Guys.
Guys.
Yeah.
All right. Award number 3. Best Nintendo Switch game.
It's
Nominees.
Animal Crossing: New Horizons. That's
Nominees.
it.
My personal favorite: Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE Encore.
Was that this year?
Yeah.
Well, it was
it
on
originally came out on the
Nintendo
Wii U.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but then they
Not
re-released
the
it. Like,
Wii U.
they re-released it in like February. I'll say.
They re-released everything that's been on the Wii U.
True,
Half
because
of
it
these
didn't
games are
count.
re-releases from the Wii U.
That's kind of true.
Actually,
yeah. Animal
almost
Crossing.
all of these games are re-releases on the Wii U.
Okay. Second nominee: Animal Crossing: New Horizons. Xenoblade Definitive Edition, Paper Mario Origami King, Pikmin 3 Deluxe, Super Mario All Stars.
Which is a reminder for people, Super Mario All-Stars is just Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy.
Okay, well, that one
Yeah.
wins then, because Mario 64 is great.
Right.
I'm 100%
really
not
good.
voting.
I'm not voting
game.
for that, though.
We're allowed to swear on this podcast?
Yeah,
Okay.
this episode-
But Super Mario Sunshine is fucking great.
Yeah, you can travel to Mexico in that game right now because you can't do it in the real world.
I don't think that place takes place in Mexico, but
It's like, I don't know, it's like
It's on an island?
inspired by it, right? The
no,
music?
it's just like a tropical island.
Okay, maybe it's just what I thought in the 4th
Costa
grade. I
Rica.
don't know.
Honestly, I think out of principle, it can't go to a game that was a re-release. So
Also,
I'm voting
they're
for Animal
re-releasing-
So
Crossing.
by default, it goes to Origami King. Good conversation.
No.
my
Oh,
God.
because yeah, that's what you're saying. The thing is with the triple pack re-release of Super Mario All Stars, and I went on like a bender though when we talked about it in our past episode. It's such a poor and lazy
Oh yeah,
definitive edition.
like people that have done emulations have done it way better.
Yeah.
Like, way more features.
So that's why like you just can't.
No,
because
but
it's
like
so
Super Mario
lazy.
Sunshine though, my
Oh
childhood,
my god,
my nostalgia.
you just have such a boner for
Yeah.
Super Mario Sunshine.
Those
It
levels
really
are so
likes
great.
Bowser Jr., dude.
It's
Bowser
such a comfy
Jr.
atmosphere. You're just like on a beach. There's like some.
I mean, if you're looking
guitars
for
in the
comfy
background.
atmosphere, Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
The crushing dud.
You're welcome. I think
Right.
so. I think we knock out Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Terrible game. No,
You don't want discount Persona?
no. It's just one of those things where, like, one, it was
Yeah.
a re-release from Wii U.
Yeah,
And
it
two,
is a
it's like-
solid 5 out of 10. This is coming from someone who's like pretty into anime.
Yeah,
Did you
and
beat
I
that entire
did not.
game?
Unfortunately, it was 60 hours, and I
Mm.
looked at him like I should have used that elsewhere. I should not have completed this game.
Like it was just one of those weird things. I did not like the vibe and the theme of that entire.
Yeah, there's not a lot to like. Let's move on to the next
Yeah.
game. Next
Xenoblade
nominee.
Definitive Edition, while I'm sure is a fine game and is great,
I'm
you didn't
really-
even beat it.
Feeling it.
You didn't
Yeah.
even beat it.
No, you're right. I didn't. Okay, honestly, like I do want to be it. It's long. I did like
Wait,
it.
this
though.
JRPG is
I know.
long?
Because the thing is, what's kind of refreshing about this JRPG opposed to the other one is like Shulk is like actually out for blood.
Are you really feeling it?
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like in Smash, he's like this British meme star.
That is how I know.
But yeah, but in the game, he's like actually like hell bent on revenge and like he wants to kill people.
Dude,
it's
it's
actually like kind of cool.
It's like your favorite type of pro tag. That's why you like Tales of Vesperia so much.
You mean Basiria?
No, Vesperia. It's I don't know, like he yeah, just the violent nature of it.
It
Like
really
it's
speaks to
it's
me.
it's
really
realistic.
speaks
Like
It
given
really
what
speaks to Alex's character.
Yeah.
as a
I want to
person.
Get
kill
out of
them all.
I'm being so misunderstood right now.
This is character assassination.
Like the antagonists in Xenoblade Definitive Edition, like they razed and like burnt down his hometown, like
Yeah,
supposedly
that'll happen.
killed like his childhood best friend / lover,
Yeah.
and so like he's very understandably upset, and like they follow through with that.
So
And
it's like a
it's
Final
realistic.
Fantasy VII backstory.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic.
No, I'm being super serious.
Oh, I mean, kinda. Oh, with like Sephiroth and Nibelheim. Yeah, kinda.
So like they copied Final Fantasy VII. That's why you
No,
like the
it's
pro tag.
I mean it's different, but I do understand what you're saying.
If
there.
a JRPG protagonist has his village burned down, that's like 80% of them. So I don't think we can call that a copy.
Oh, man.
Okay, Paper Mario Origami King.
Your seven's gonna win best Nintendo Switch
No.
game.
I mean, I'm just running through the nominees. I don't think it's the best Switch game. Like,
Can we
I don't think there are a
nominate
lot of-
Thousand Year Door?
not on the Switch, not this year.
Oh.
Pikmin 3 Deluxe.
Great
I have
game.
no intention of ever playing Pikmin.
It's a good game. It's not for
I
everyone.
feel like it isn't.
No, it really is a good game. It's cool. I think if based on this conversation, I think it's honestly between AC New Horizons and Super Mario All Stars.
Yeah, which is why
I'm
it's Super
assuming.
Mario All Stars.
I don't know. About
I'm going to
those.
put my vote for Animal Crossing.
You can't. You have to support Nintendo's shitty business practice.
Yeah.
Making a digital limited time re-release.
Oh my God, and
Artificial
yeah.
scarcity. It's
Oh
what
my
you
god, I
want.
forgot
Okay.
about that.
Yeah, everyone forgets about it.
Yeah, everyone forgets about Nintendo's shittiness, and
They're
they
like,
just let, yeah.
you know, this digital game that doesn't have any stock.
It's going off store shelves soon.
It's going in
We
the
can't-
Disney Vault.
We
I
can't make
know.
enough of it. All right, so Super Mario All Stars. Woo!
No, best Nintendo Switch game is Animal Crossing New Horizons.
it's
It's
by-
that
bullshit.
New Horizons.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, award number 3,
I got
best
no fight
Microsoft
in here.
game.
I got no.
I also
fight
have
in
no fight. Why is this a category? What are we going to
Because
talk about?
we need to.
We're gonna
appease the
talk about
Microsoft fans.
Tetris Connected?
I feel like
We're gonna talk about Tell Me Why.
Talking about this, I feel us talking about this is more of a disservice to the Microsoft.
Yeah, like that's more of an insult.
Okay, so
Read through the nominations and then we'll flip a coin.
okay, here we go. Nominees for best Microsoft game: Ori, Will o' the Wisp, which is the sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh,
Grounded, Gears Tactics, Tell Me Why, Planet Coaster, Tetris Connected,
games.
lol,
What are you talking
and
about?
Flight
Shut up.
Simulator. Okay, I would love to give it to Flight Simulator.
good. Me too.
Seriously?
so
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic.
All right, we're number 3. Best Microsoft game goes to Flight Simulator.
Well, I do want to talk about Grounded. I think Grounded's a really good game.
Okay, yeah, you have played it.
Yeah, so I played Grounded with a few other people. I don't know if you guys know what it is. It's essentially like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but you're playing with like 4 other people. So
and it's like VR.
No, it is not VR.
It's not?
Misinformation?
No,
I thought you were playing a VR.
No, I'm playing on the PC. How would it have a VR, Alex? There's no VR console for Xbox.
Well, just like on Steam, I thought maybe there was VR. Okay, I don't know. Continue.
No, so you're playing Honey, I Shrunk the Kids with a bunch of friends. It's cool. The aesthetic is really interesting. The gameplay is really cool, too. It's a survival game, and you're trying to not get killed by spiders and ants. So
like the real world.
And then you're building like houses off like leaves and shit. So it's actually really cool.
So honestly. It's like that scene from Ants.
Dude, no one remembers Ants.
Dude,
no one wants to remember Ants.
I remember Ants.
Like,
Ants is a cool story.
It's knockoff brand Bug's Life.
No. The animation was really good.
Ants is way cooler than Bug's Life, dude.
No.
Ants is like violent and cool.
You're embarrassing yourself.
Yeah, that termite war, I still vividly remember it because I'm like, why is this happening? Yeah, like why is this happening to me? Why'd they show those?
Yeah, no, but Flight Simulator is fine. I played that too. It like burns my PC. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so damn impressive. Like the scope of like what they were able to do. Like, it's obviously like you're literally just like flying in a plane, but like
through some sort of simulation.
But like how they like recreated like the world, like actually like Earth.
Yeah,
is just I think it's never been done before. You crash in your house?
Yeah, I like chose to crash into my house. I like try to find my house for like 2 hours.
Childhood trauma being undone in Flight Simulator. Just because like the feats that it seems to have accomplished.
Yes, therefore, best Microsoft game goes to Flight Simulator.
Are we okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine. It's easy.
Okay, cool.
I got no fight.
Awesome.
Oh, here it is.
Award number 4, Best PlayStation Game. Nominees: Persona 5 Royal, Last of Us 2, Demon Souls, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ghost of Tsushima, Astrobot Playroom, Sackboy's Big Adventure, Bug Snacks, why is that on here? And Final Fantasy VII Remake. Okay.
I'm going to go for Demon Souls, even though I didn't actually play it. I'll just assume it's like the one on the PS3, which
it's
I played
better.
a lot.
It's better than the one on the PS3.
Yeah, there you go.
I think it's to go to Persona 5 Royal.
Okay, so yeah, the thing is, and when listeners, when you do listen to the actual Game of the Year discussion, a lot of it was between PlayStation games, so
you probably don't have to like rehash too much of this.
However, with the Game of the Year talk, there totally is different. Because in the Game of the Year discussion, we went over like it really like changed the scope of like 2020. It did something no other game had done before. Yeah, this is just like, hey, they're like this is the best PlayStation game. I don't know. It seems on a lesser scale.
Yeah, I think you should go to Persona 5 Royal, and I will actually fight for it in this one.
Oh no!
But we're all the way over here, Rob.
I don't care. So you want to give it the Demon Souls, Alex?
So why? Okay, why do you think it's the best? Why do you think Persona 5 Royal is the best PlayStation game?
I think Persona 5 Royal is the best PlayStation game because one, it's a fantastic game. It's really good combat, really good music. Also, it has characters. Every single character in the game has such endearing qualities to them that you really feel that you're part of that group and you really care for every single person that you interact with in the game.
Honestly, so I've played Persona 5 base. That seems like a hyperbole.
No, how fucking dare you?
Laying it down.
Wow.
The politician guy is not endearing.
Cool, dude.
He's boring.
No, dude, he's cool. He's trying to redeem himself. He was like a crooked person. Yeah. And so and then like the additions to the game has just been like such a fantastic thing that like I just need to call it out. It's really good. It's one of those things where I've spoken about this in our podcast before. I just never feel like I'm wasting time in the game, and I think that's a very good note to when it's just a phenomenal game to play. Like if I ever feel like I could be doing something else, like that in my head there's already flaws in the game. The fact that I never feel like I want to do something else when I play Persona is just fantastic.
Okay, so originally I was going to say Ghost of Tsushima hands
But now
down.
you're saying Demon Souls.
I have to give this to Astrobot Playroom.
Yo,
In terms of
I don't hate it. I don't hate
best PlayStation game, like
Yeah.
this game is just such a celebration of like PlayStation history and what it means to have been in the PlayStation environment. And hey, if you haven't been, like, this is our history and we're happy to have you here. And then obviously, like, that's just like the feelings it gives off. The actual like gameplay, it's not anything like game breaking, I would say, but it is very solid. And then, you know, obviously the integration with the DualSense controller is unparalleled at this moment.
Damn, that's a good argument.
So in terms of like just this is like the best PlayStation game, like you can't get that game on any other console and have that experience.
Fuck.
You know what I mean?
I hate it when you're smart. Like it makes it very
It
hard.
happens every blue moon.
It's not too often.
Man,
Yeah,
that's a really good argument.
Yeah, I'll still vote for Demon Souls so that way we have a
Just-
tie.
just to
so
be
that
an
we can't do
asshole.
anything.
You know what? I have to go to Astrobot Playroom too, because the issue is like, I think when I like, yes, I love Persona 5 and it's such a fantastic game, but when I got my PlayStation 5, I was ready to play Miles Morales and I wanted to play all of these other PlayStation 5 games, but I thought, oh, like I'll play Astrobot while I'm waiting for the downloads to do. But I actually actively chose to play Astrobot.
Yeah, it's so cool seeing all the cameos and just like how they love like the ecosystem and like the games they've built up for their fans. Like it's so cool. It makes you feel proud to be a PlayStation fan. Sorry.
No. And then the other thing that I wanted to note about Astrobot too is this sounds super cheesy and weird, but when I played it, I thought to myself, "Oh, I'm playing the future." Like. Honestly,
the future is now,
Yeah,
man.
now, like, seriously. Like, I played it and I'm like, okay, this is where it's going.
Yeah, no, it's I agree with that too.
Yeah,
and obviously we will have an award for best RPG. So Persona 5R might have a shot at that again. But yeah, I think in terms of like best PlayStation game, like
it's gotta go to Demon Souls.
Shut up. You're such a troll. Astrobot's Playroom.
Yeah,
best PlayStation.
There you go.
Game.
Amazing.
All right.
Cole's probably like, why does no one listen to me?
Cohen's he's a salt monster.
Yeah, I'm just here to heckle, so don't worry too much about it.
All right, award number 5, best mobile game: Among Us, Raid Shadow Legends, who one day they will sponsor us, Genshin Impact, Legends of Runeterra, and Pokemon Go.
Raid Shadow Legends would have won if they gave us money.
Did Pokemon Go come out like 4 years ago? My nuts.
It's still good. It updates every day.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a game store. Like Among Us technically came out
a long time ago. It just
a couple years.
Yeah, but like it didn't really come out.
No, I know. I understand that. So I would put this between either Among Us or Genshin Impact.
Yeah. You know what? I would pick Among Us over Genshin Impact. Obviously, we already talked about Among Us in multiplayer games.
To appease the listeners.
No,
I know. The thing with like Genshin Impact is that it made a big Genshin impact on like a lot of people who weren't aware of like gacha games and that whole ecosystem. Because most of the time it was regulated to, I guess,
China.
more of a niche audience of like, it's Fate Grand Order or like whatever other big, kind of Japanese franchise had that going on. But now people are like, oh wait, gacha games? Okay. And then, people get sucked in. There's whales, there's gambling.
They don't make their mortgage.
Yeah,
they don't have any more money.
Thing. Like, it introduced a lot of people to it. So I think that's kind of, well, I don't know. We're not talking about biggest impact. We're talking about what's the best game. So maybe that's a different discussion.
It is a very polished game.
Yeah.
For one, free and on mobile and like PC, PS4, whatever. Like I was surprised at how polished this free game was.
Well, my main thing too with Genshin is that I didn't play it on mobile, so I don't know how well it plays on mobile.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
I've seen like streamers play it on mobile, so I haven't played, but like I've seen it just because I was curious too.
Right, and I think that game plays better with a controller. So I don't know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, even if we don't vote for it, I want to at least have that discussion. Also, Kohn had an actual valid contribution.
Well, that's weird.
I'm fine giving it to Among Us.
I can go either. Like, I think Genshin Impact really surprised a lot of people because, like, coming in, people were like, "Oh, this
anime waifus."
See, that's the other thing is that it has the waifus.
People
like, that's the tipping point.
People are so down on this game when it like first started showing up, and we're like, "Oh, why are you copying Legend of Zelda? Like, where's your?"
Yeah, a lot of games are going to be copying Breath of the Wild in the future.
Right, but when it came out, people were very surprised. People were very positive on this game, so I really can't overstate that the impact that this
the Genshin Impact. No, I'm still voting for Impact. You can't change my mind. Yeah.
I think I'll
Among
vote
Us
for
had
Impact.
its chance.
I'll vote for Impact.
Nice, 2 out of 3. Doesn't matter what you think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, fine. I'll vote for Pokemon Go. Okay.
I'll vote for Raid Shadow Legends.
Best mobile game goes to Genshin Impact.
Congratulations.
Award number 6.
All right.
Best role-playing game, best RPG.
Oh boy!
I always knew it would come down to those.
Persona 5 Royal, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, and Xenoblade Definitive Edition. All right, so we'll just cross off Xenoblade real quick.
All right, you ready to fight, Alex?
No, honestly, I'm not even gonna fight. I'm gonna give it to Persona 5 Royal.
Really?
Yeah, no, like undoubtedly.
Why?
I was thinking about it for a while too, and I think when you think of like best role-playing game, like I'm role-playing as like this character, like I'm really being immersed into this. There's no other series that is so immersive into like the character's perspective as Persona. Like they have a silent protagonist and it's actually for a purpose. Like why is Link a silent protagonist?
Yes.
The answer is because Nintendo doesn't want to change their property that much. They're too scared and they're too late. Yeah, whatever. In Persona it makes sense. Like you make choices every day. They're very impactful. Like you do become that character. It makes a lot of sense. Like you live as this Japanese high schooler, which I mean, in America we can't do, but even people in Japan seem to like that idea too. I'm totally down for Persona 5 to be best role-playing game of 2020.
We'll take it. I'll take it. I don't need to fight. Thank you, Alex.
Best role-playing game of 2020.
Well, do you want to add anything or extend that conversation?
5
No, I think Persona 5 Royal is a fantastic best role-playing game. I'm going to gift Kohn Persona 5 Royal just so that he plays it.
Wow. He said, we were actually talking about it. He said he might play 4 Golden because he needs to play that first.
I don't hate it, but like Persona 5 Royal is that's just a lot of Kohn's time. Like it's a lot of time.
It's a lot of Kohn time.
Yeah. The world isn't ready for that much Kohn time. Okay. All right. Persona 5 Royal, best role playing game. Award number 7, best audio design and music. Persona 5 Royal, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Miles Morales, Demon Souls, Last of Us 2, Ori and the Will of the Wisp. There's a bullet point for Ori, Will of the Wisp. It's very emotional and chase sequences.
Okay, so I asked our friend Brendan to give us some of his thoughts about
which you'll meet him in the next episode.
Yeah, so he wanted us to add Ori and the Will of the Wisp there. He says that the music in Ori and the Will of the Wisp is very emotional, and the sound design in the chase sequence makes you really feel empowered and then risky at the same time. That's all he wanted to say.
So I also have a friend named Brendan who we've talked about on the podcast, or we've mentioned him a few times, and I watched him play the first Ori in the Hollow Forest or whatever, and the music is really good. Like the aesthetic, the feel, the environment, like they do all that very well.
Yeah. But I'm gonna.
So it's cool that it's brought up at least. I wouldn't put it above some of these other ones. Mm-hmm. But I do like that it's being mentioned.
Yeah. I love the music in Persona 5 Royal, but I think that's an acquired taste. Like, I think it's fantastic music. Like, I think it's one of the best.
The acid jazz.
Right. No, I've told Alex this before, but so I'm getting married this year. As like pump up music, I'm actually gonna listen to some Persona 5.
You're gonna walk down the aisle.
Everyone's like, "Oh, I love this
You'll
song."
never see it coming.
No, but I think I'm actually gonna vote for either Miles Morales or Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Does Miles Morales have Sunflower in it?
It does not, but
I'm disqualified.
Alex, you started playing Miles Morales, right?
I'm like 3-4 hours in. It is
The music
super
is
cool.
like fucking great.
Yeah,
Like,
like
it
as you're
is
just
good.
swinging through Brooklyn, like it makes you feel like really cool.
Like,
Yeah, I'm definitely
even-
voting for P5.
Even that, like even Miles Morales, like they also have like title tracks there. Like as you
yeah.
play it, like with like lyrics and stuff, like that's just like good music. Like it's music that I would listen to like outside of the game. And then I want to make a note for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Way that they like reorchestrize the battle theme is like so cool in that game.
A lot of the themes, yeah.
So
it isn't just like copy and paste it from the PS1, like, and it's not even just like upres, like there is like a new
the dubstep
vibe
version
to
of the
it.
battle theme is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I'm between Miles Morales and Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I'm gonna vote for Final Fantasy VII Remake. One, because I'm a Final Fantasy simp, and two, it's just so iconic. Like when One Wing Angel comes on, you're like, let's fucking go. Like everyone knows that they re-upped it. It's so iconic. I feel like I have to.
All right, I'll vote for Persona 5 because I listen to that OST all
You
the time.
do?
Yeah.
Your hype music when you're walking down the aisle.
Yeah.
Dude.
All right, so we've got one for Final Fantasy and one for Persona 5. So Ralph, you're the tiebreaker.
I'll go Final Fantasy VII. Like I
Let's
totally
do it.
understand. Like Persona 5 music is really hype. If you guys have a chance, please do listen to it. It's really interesting. But Final Fantasy VII Remake, like there's just something about.
It's beautiful.
It's also iconic.
Honestly.
Like
Yeah.
and I would say Persona 5 Royal music will definitely be iconic 10 years from now. But like Final Fantasy VII Remake, like that
Will always
that
be
theme,
iconic.
like it's always going to be iconic. It's already had the test of time. And the fact that they were able to make it fresh and interesting in the new game just says so much about it.
Cool. I agree. All right. Best audio design and music goes to Final Fantasy VII Remake. Play it. Award number 9. Best character. Persona 5 Royal. Maruki. Last of Us 2 Ellie. Last of Us 2 Abby. Lol. Ghost of Tsushima Lady Masako. Ghost of Tsushima Jin Sakai. Miles Morales. And Persona 5 Kasumi.
Which is the girl in Persona 5 that has the bangs and she plays Shoji?
Not any of these characters.
Oh.
That's Hifumi, though.
This list is missing something.
What do you call it? I've already kind of brought it up in our Game of the Year discussions, which Alex is really sad about. But I have to.
Before I played the game.
I told you to play Persona 5 before
Just
Game
get
of the
on
Year.
with it.
But I really want to vote for Kasumi. Kasumi is a really interesting character. He's
Banjo and Kasumi.
For it, I don't want to like talk about it here because now I'm scared that it's gonna like if
To
someone
reopen Alex's wounds.
right. But Kasumi's character is just really interesting. It takes so many turns. Like it's very unexpected on what happens with Kasumi. And so, sorry, Alex, you get Foxy.
You're not sorry.
But yeah,
well,
I really
I'm still
like
voting for Hifumi, so...
Yeah.
No, bad. She's not even on here.
It is now. You can't tell me it's not on here.
But
Okay.
I also would like to do an honorable mention for Jin Sakai.
Okay.
I think there was a lot of
That's
nuance.
interesting to me.
There's a lot of nuance to it's just the character. Oh god, my dogs are doing squeaky toes. Viv, come
Are they
here.
playing with like toys or something?
Sorry about that, listeners. Professional casuals. But with Jin Sakai, there was so much the way that the characters' personality and their life and their story is integrated into the gameplay is really interesting. With Jin, he's supposed to be this honorable samurai, and as you develop into the game, he starts becoming more of an assassin, and it conflicts with his personality and who he is as a person.
He
And so that's
becomes
really
a very
cool.
rounded character, which is cool. I want to give this to Ellie. Last of Us 2 Ellie. Obviously, you grow attached to her in the first game, which, you know, it's they do such a fantastic job with that. So then they give you even more of this character and more like the strife and the struggles that she's going through in this world. And then, come towards the end of the game, huge decisions are being made, life-altering decisions. And I feel like you see her grow up in a sense. Mm-hmm. And especially like those moments that she has with Joel, really just like all the cinematics with her are just awesome. Like she's such a cool character. I honestly feel like Ellie is one of my favorite video game characters.
Yeah, I think the thing with Ellie is that, any time she's interacting with Joel, like especially that scene like in the autumn outside of the house where they confront about the whole vaccine thing. Like, that was
good.
So well acted and so well written. Like, actually, now that I think of it, I might vote for Ellie here instead of the character that doesn't exist.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So,
honestly, like there's any person or any character, not person, any character.
The people to me, the real.
Any character in this list is good. So like I can't even fight against Ellie. Ellie's fine.
Yeah,
Ellie's good.
Cool. Best character 2020 goes to Ellie in Last of Us 2.
Also for me.
Award number 10, most disappointing game. Boo. Yeah. Death Stranding, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Definitive Edition.
What are you talking about?
Marvel's Avengers, Last of Us 2, and Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity.
So with Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, Brendan also wanted to add this on here. So a little spoiler tag here. So I'll give you like 2 seconds. Spoilers for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. What Brendan wanted to say is that it set up too high of expectations for Breath of the Wild. During the marketing materials, they were trying to say that this is going to be a canon story for Breath of the Wild. But what they didn't say in the story at the very beginning that this is actually a time travel arc. So they time travel back in time to create a new timeline for.
Are there 4? Are there 4 different lines now in the
I don't
chronology?
know, but like he thought it was very disappointing.
Well, like in Zelda overall, because I don't think there's.
Because there's 3.
I don't know.
Did they make a 4th?
Isn't that all like fan canon though?
No, they didn't.
Like
in the Hyrule Historia.
Yeah.
Story.
He just thought it was very disappointing that they were trying to say that this is a canon timeline and this is what happened during Breath of the Wild, but instead it was a retread and then.
So they misled
correct.
Cyberpunk 2077 on current gen consoles. Got it.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, I thought Age of Calamity was actually pretty well received, but I guess maybe with those expectations.
Yeah. So he was very disappointed.
It's big shoes to fill putting the Breath of the Wild tag on there.
When we were making this list, we didn't have Cyberpunk on here. Should we even consider? I don't know, man. I'm actually loving Cyberpunk, and that's primarily because I'm playing PC now.
Right.
I was very upset with it when I first started playing it because it kept on crashing. I was playing on PC, but the main thing is it's a very good game still. Like I think,
like when it works, I've heard
when it works,
good things.
It works, but I think we should separate Cyberpunk from here.
Yeah, I mean that could easily be a whole hour.
There's a lot
of
of can of worms in that game to even discuss.
You gross.
But
when I open this can,
I actually think this is gonna sound super weird, but I actually think that Death Stranding should win most disappointing game because they're like
walking simulator.
It's not even
mailman.
that. I don't think there's anything fundamentally wrong about the gameplay in Death Stranding. I haven't played it myself. But, there's so much expectations that people had put onto the game because it was a Hideo Kojima game. It was his first game outside of Metal Gear. And so when the fact that the game is very much it's a taste thing, like people really like the game if they're into that type of game, but it's not just widely received as a very good game. I think there's a problem there.
Okay, so here's my thing with Death Stranding. I think people who are familiar with the industry and they know Hideo Kojima,
who's just
they're like, oh, cool, Hideo Kojima game. But then they're also like, it's a Hideo Kojima game, so there's gonna be some weird shit with it.
It's not even.
And then
weird,
people who aren't like too ingrained in the industry, they're like, oh, it's the guy from The Walking Dead. This seems like it's really cool. The thing is, I also haven't played it. I've seen plenty of reviews. I've heard plenty of people talk about it. And the overlying thing seems to be when you're playing the game, like playing it, not watching the cutscenes. When you're playing the game, you're not having fun.
Right.
I'm playing a game to have fun.
But do games have to be fun?
Like, I think at a very core level, you should be having fun in a game.
So,
like, if you're going through like a part in a game that is like not that fun, like, okay, whatever, like this is kind of grindy, sure, but overall, like, you're having fun with the game. That's whatever. But like, if you're at no point like having fun with the actual gameplay, that is a huge issue. Like, that's disgusting. But people do love the story and the cutscenes and the characters. Like, people say, like, now that I've finished the game, I can like enjoy looking back on it. But like during it, I don't like it at all. Which maybe is proving a point that is most disappointing game. I don't know.
Yeah, well, this is going to be another topic of the show. Like, should games need to be fun? But
I don't know. What's your take on that, Kohn?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I haven't played any of these games, but yeah, Death Stranding, I think.
No, just like at its core, do games need to be fun?
Yeah, I mean, we go into definitions of like what fun is, because like,
yeah,
you know, Dark Souls 3 or Bloodborne, well, getting my ass kicked.
That's what I was gonna say. It was like when you're like getting your teeth kicked
Flame
in
Lurker?
Dark Souls, like,
give me Flame Lurker, bro. I'm having fun dying for the 15th time.
Right, but like to Cohen's point, right? Like at times when you play those type of games, like you're not having fun when you're getting your teeth kicked in. You're having such a rush of endorphins when you finally beat it. Like, that's when you get the...
Okay, but Death Stranding, you're literally an Amazon delivery man. That's the game.
There could be something to be said for, like, kind of zenning out. Because, like, navigating the terrain is still, like, that is the main gameplay.
That's not zenning out.
Yeah.
Because every step you need to, like, actually, like, plan out because you might tip over.
Yeah, so that's, like... very angry right now.
Dude, because I've wanted to play...
But
I hate Death Stranding, actually.
You can enter the flow while still doing, like, complex maneuvers. Like, when you do something long enough and get good enough at it, you're, like, doing stuff subconsciously.
Have you watched gameplay? You're going up, like, an 80-degree angle.
I did not realize that this would be the bomb that, like, made Alex go up.
I didn't realize how much I hated Death Stranding until you guys started talking.
Yeah, I'm, like, worried for my life over here. He's going to flip this glass table. Yeah, I think there's something to be said for just kind of, you know, chilling out, entering the flow, navigating, just looking at the nothing that's happening, not doing any gameplay.
Okay, I agree with that. I don't think that statement applies to Death Stranding. I think that applies to like grinding an MMO or like a JRPG. I think that's more zenning out.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a very polarizing game for that reason. It's literally mostly
that's true.
Yeah. I would like to note that Death Stranding is like $20 on the PS Store right now, and I still don't want to buy it
for a while. And I've come so
you're losing money if you don't buy it.
Normally, I'm with you on that, but I think I'm losing like time, money, and like sanity by playing Death Stranding.
So it sounds like it's Death Stranding, right? Like,
I'm voting for Marvel's Avengers.
I actually would. I'm voting for Marvel's Avengers.
Yeah. Well, it's so much money and so much hype, and they're like, oh.
Well, I would also like to
wasted potential.
I would also like to point out for Marvel's Avengers, I think people were already down on that game before it launched, though.
Because it looked shitty,
right? So like when we played it, we were actually pretty positive on it when we were playing it for our first couple of episodes because we already had low expectations for the game. Do you know what I'm trying to say? No, but like that's honest. Honestly, like we already had low expectations of the game. So when we played the story, I'm like, oh, like this story is actually pretty good, or like, oh, the combat's pretty interesting. But like with Death Stranding, people had high expectations, and then when it came out, they're like, this game sucks. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I do get what you're saying.
Like, it's like the epitome of disappointing because you're really excited for it and then it was not what you wanted. While with Avengers, yes, it's not the best game, but like people found really good things about it because they were already like, this is a shitty game.
High play.
So right. I will say that prior to the beta, prior to the Avengers beta, people I'm not going to say they were totally down on the game, but they were very skeptical. Right. They were weary of it. Just because, my earphone fell out.
Yeah, whoops. Like shifting
you need some more earwax.
Okay. Technical difficulties, we're back. We're almost back.
Okay, I did it.
Okay. Prior to the Avengers
beta, your elbow out of it.
People were weary of it, and then when the beta came, people were like, "This is fun. Like this seems like a good game." and we were like that too. Like I remember we had some gin and tonics rolling. We were playing the beta on 2 different TVs at your place, and it was like it seemed like it'd be a
so
good
the
game.
award goes to Marvel's Avengers.
Yeah, but then when the game launched, we're like, okay, this is cool. Then the second day happened, we're like, wait, this is just the same thing over and over, and it's very laggy. So I was super disappointed because we're a huge Avengers fan. Like the game carries on the hype that the cinematic universe built up to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know. It's just one of those things where like, are you falling from a tall skyscraper, or are you falling from a 2-story house? But
in this case, we can't let it get away with it.
So I'm fine with it. I think Death Stranding just had higher expectations, and it did not meet those expectations.
So, okay, yeah, I do agree with that. One thing I do want to point out, though, is that half the people like Death Stranding, half of them hate it, whereas 100% of the people do not like Avengers.
I don't know if 100% of the people don't like Avengers.
Give me like 90, man.
Give me that 98.
Oh, okay. Well, it's your call, man.
Wow, there's so much power, Bob.
Yeah, I mean, no one really cares at the end of the day.
Okay, cool. Most disappointing game, Marvel's Avengers, with a runner-up as Death Stranding.
Cool.
Best ongoing game, Award 11. Animal Crossing, New Horizons, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, League of Legends, Overwatch, Among Us, Fall Guys.
So it's like, I feel like this list should be like 30 times longer, but yeah.
Well, do you want to add anything?
Not really, but I'm just thinking like what ongoing means. That means a lot of things.
Just implementing new content, which there are. Yeah, you're right.
Put Destiny on there.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where like it's whoever played whatever, right? So I think Animal Crossing needs a really big shout out here because they've been pumping out like free content updates since it launched. And so people like
it's all been free,
right? Yeah, so
that's cool.
It's been very contemporary moving forward. They had like a Thanksgiving update, a Christmas update, a Halloween update, like a summer update. They added new things like to the game, so it's like never ending, and that's how they keep people playing. It's kind of crazy.
That's true. I always hear people say like, I might not be playing the game like for 5 hours anymore, but I definitely log in like every day. To do X, Y, and Z.
I would also like to note that like League of Legends, like how old, like that game's still around. I played that in high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like
still getting larger.
Yeah, it's actually like at the most popular it's ever been, which is nuts.
So I think there's just a lot of things here. It really depends on how you're looking at things. Smash Bros. Ultimate, as we all know, all three of us love Smash. They just added Sephiroth to the game.
And Steve.
Same thing with like
and Minecraft Steve.
Yeah, and like same thing with like Overwatch. I know people like to this day that only play Overwatch. Like after so many years.
I feel bad for them.
But I honestly have to give it to League. Like I think I would I have to give it to League because of
KDA pop stars.
Yeah, but like the other note too, I stopped playing League, but I recognize that it takes so much hard work and time and effort to keep a player base engaged after like almost over a decade. It's been over a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely also go with League. Like I also don't really play anymore, but I still love the characters and the world and kind of
and the competitive scene.
Yeah,
like and there's something to be said too that like even as a lapsed player, like I can watch a League of Legends live stream or competitive game and still understand because I know the fundamentals of the game.
Yeah, and this latest the season of 2020, they made so many remarkable changes, and they always do. But the thing is, they're all good changes.
Yeah.
Like overall. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if you're memeing.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay,
it's hard to say.
Like it seems fresh, but like also still recognizable, like you guys have said. Mm-hmm. They all seem to be meaningful changes. Sometimes like it isn't perfect, but there's so many champions and so many ways to play that like it's not just totally ruined. Like there's always workarounds.
Yeah.
It's called cyclical balancing. Actually, I watched like a whole YouTube video on it. It's great.
Expert over here.
Yeah, no, but I kind of came into this wanting to vote for
Smash
Animal
Bros.
Crossing.
Huh?
but I think League of Legends definitely deserves it.
Nice. 3 out of 3. The first time we've ever agreed on anything.
Yeah,
Was it really the first 3 out of 3?
I think so. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Award number 12, best indie game. We've got Among Us, Fall Guys, Temtem, Last Epic, and Hades.
Is that
Yeah, so
pronounce
I'm
that?
the only person that played Last Epic. I'm the person that put it on here. I
Yeah,
want to call it
it's
out.
not Epoch, Ben.
That's dumb. It's EPOC. That's Epoch.
Okay, well, English
fun-
is
fun
dumb.
story-
So
fun story about this, Kohn. I kept on calling it Last Epoch, and my fiance Sam kept on making fun of me. He's like, "You're an idiot. It's Epic." I'm like, "No, it's not. Epic is spelled differently." And I looked it up, and we had a whole argument about it. And
you had an argument about it before Google searching it?
Yeah.
Yeah, just search up the thing where the voice says it out loud. Epic.
In the British voice.
Yeah.
But so I wanted to know. So Last Epic is the Diablo style MMO online. It's very similar to that, but it's still in early access. It doesn't look beautiful, but it's this indie game where if you search up best ARPG, it keeps on coming up. And what's interesting about the game is that they were actually planning on releasing it at an earlier state, at a 1.0. But because it has generated such a huge following online for ARPG fans, they are working harder on it now. So they were planning on dropping this and then moving on to a new game. Now they're actually going to keep on updating it, making it look nice, making it play better. What's interesting about the game in general is that the skill system is really cool in Last Epic. I played it for a long time. And
what is a long time, Ralph?
I would say like 70 hours, and that was just for one character. And it's in early
is a long
access,
time.
and the game's not done.
I've never heard you talk about this.
Yes, well, it was before the podcast.
Interesting.
But
Okay.
What's cool about the skill system is that you have your normal tree in the skill system, right? But you can kind of like combine different aspects of the skills. So, like for instance, if you have like spiders, right? You're like a summoner, and you have spiders. There's different variations to the spiders. You can make the spider one giant spider instead of multiple spiders that spawn, so it has more health. Or you can get a spider that like chains lightning and also chains ice and also chains fire. So it depends. It's just like a really cool system of you have your skill tree where you have your like different abilities.
So yeah, it kind of seems like in the same vein as Temtem, where
Right.
it is really cool, but just not necessarily at this moment.
Yeah.
They're kind of building the foundation for something awesome.
Yeah, 'cause
it's cool that you're shouting this out though, because like I had no idea this existed, to be honest.
people should
but
definitely check it out.
Yeah.
It's probably the
if
coolest.
you're looking for like a Diablo-esque.
Yeah, it's a cool skill system that haven't seen in any other games yet, because you're leveling up your skills. You're leveling up your actual like spider summon skill, and it has its own skill tree. And then you have your like slashing skill. It has that own skill tree. But not only that, you have your own character skill tree too. So there's just skill trees
A lot of
upon skill
depth,
trees upon skill trees.
customization.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah. I think you and I are probably both going to give this to Hades.
Yeah,
by
Hades is
Supergiant
great.
Games. Yeah, I mean, I only did one full completion, but
Because you're not very
you
good
can
at
just
the game.
because I'm bad. Video games don't. No. At this game, I was not that great. I'll be completely honest, but I still I had fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe like if I'm on a flight when that's more of a
Good
thing.
joke, dude.
I could definitely see myself like playing this on my Switch.
Yeah. One thing that I want to note about Hades is that game for Supergiant. Obviously, people have they know who Supergiant is. They did
Transistor,
Bastion, baby.
right. But I think Hades really put them in the limelight this year. I think a lot of people will be very eager to see what their next game is.
Yeah, those are. They're a great company, great developers. I feel like they're really great with their community too. It's you could see the polish in this game.
Mm-hmm.
The graphics are pretty good. I think it fits the world very well. The character portraits are awesome. The action is really cool too.
The music is crazy. I don't know why we didn't put this in best music, but it's really good music.
Yeah, it fits the environment where you are very well.
Yep.
So
Yeah, Hades it is.
cool. Yeah, Ben, a lot of actions per minute. I don't really know if it's...
Yeah, that's the issue. I was like, oh, it looks really awesome, but very high APM.
Cool. All right, so best indie goes to Hades by Supergiant Games. Award number 13, most anticipated game.
Oh boy, it's a big list.
Elden Ring, which is a huge meme right now.
I don't even know if this comes out next year. Can we talk about the qualifiers for this award?
Isn't... Okay, so it does say most anticipated game, not most anticipated game of 2021.
Okay, all right.
So I'm fine keeping it on there.
I'll let it slide.
All right, so Elden Ring, No More Heroes 3, Breath of the Wild 2, God of War Ragnarok, Final Fantasy 16, Horizon Forbidden West, Persona 5 Strikers, Bravely Default 2, Nier Replicant, Hogwarts Legacy, and the Legend of Zelda Collection, which...
Limited time digital offer.
Well, there hasn't even been anything announced for that, but it's just, next year is the 35th anniversary for Zelda, so there'll probably be some lazy
ports.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think we're going to agree on any of these.
Yeah, because we all know that it has to be No More Heroes 3.
So what do you think?
Honestly, I'm very excited for God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I'm kind of not.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that's like a separate discussion of God of War, but...
Did you play it?
So you didn't really... You didn't love God of War 2018?
I don't know. Like, the more I think about it, I just have, like, no desire to ever go back and play it. I think we talked about this on the other Game of the Year thing, but just, like, there's so much downtime if you're not doing anything, and, like, it really does just feel like a big, like, it's a AAA game with AAA stuff. Like, the looting system, like, the gear was just so in there for no reason. Like, it didn't support the rest of the game or like what the story was. It was like, oh, people like upgrading stuff and looting and getting better gear, so we can put that in there. No, like, it'd be cool if it was like a over the shoulder thing the entire time, or like, oh, even if that really doesn't fit the combat at all, like it's good for the story, it makes you feel more connected to Kratos, but it's not good for the combat when there's a guy winding up an axe behind you and they have like this little reticule. It's like, dude, you're about to get fucked like 2 seconds, so get ready for that. Like, it's not a good design for an action game. So I don't know, the more I thought about it, like, I loved when I was playing it, and there's a lot of like jaw-dropping scenes, and I think the development between the boy and the dad was good, but yeah, I don't know. Looking back on it, it just, I don't know. I'm more mild on it.
Interesting.
I think I kind of agree with where Kohn is, but one thing that I do want to note about God of War is I am so invested in that story now that I need to know what happens next. So that's what makes it the most anticipated game for me, because there's so many, like, it was such a nice and tightly woven story in God of War 2018, 2016?
2018.
Yeah.
Who would have thought the narrative for God of War
was such
crazy.
what a fantastic story in that game. And then they just added some nice little loose strings at the end that I am so down to figure out what happens next.
Yeah, the little strings of intrigue. Yeah, they did a fantastic job at setting up for
like it wasn't
sequel.
a bad
you see the
hanger, you know what I mean?
Slams down.
Yeah.
Where do I fall on this? Ben, are you serious for No More Heroes 3?
It's really close between that and Elden Ring, because Elden Ring does sound really cool.
Yeah. Like, my vote is between Elden Ring and Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, that checks out.
I would pick Elden Ring too. I'm very intrigued about that game.
So for listeners who are kind of
my personal, but Elden Ring it makes sense to me.
Yeah, like I think, like God of War Ragnarok will be an awesome game. Like I think we're all probably gonna buy it.
Don't
eat
your words,
point.
Man. Cyberpunk was gonna be an awesome game.
Okay, true. Not knock on wood. But so listeners who are kind of out of the loop with Elden Ring, which is very understandable because there's really not much to even fucking talk about, unfortunately. Elden Ring is a game by From Software that will release in the future.
Question mark?
Yeah, it'll release in the future. From Software did Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne.
And Kingsfield.
Sure.
And Armored Core.
And Sekiro. So the Soulsborne games, that genre. And it's also... so the narrative is being written by George R. R. Martin, the guy who
hasn't finished Game of Thrones yet.
Who hasn't finished Game of Thrones because he's now had this third side project.
Dude, he locked himself in a cabin somewhere. I'm pretty sure, because he's like, if the book isn't out by this date, I'm gonna lock myself in like a cabin in the woods or something.
I'm pretty sure it's like last winter, and it's not done. So Yeah, he might be dead right now. We haven't heard from him.
Oh my god,
Dude, he could be dead tomorrow. We'll never know.
In the cabin. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of hype behind this game, but they tweeted like a month ago, like, this game is still happening.
Yeah.
Right?
From
Software did that. So everyone's really hyped on it because obviously the gameplay and like the boss design and everything in the Dark Souls, Demon Souls series is awesome. Pair that with an actual narrative or a more relevant narrative that
a more conventional narrative.
Yeah, thank you. That George R. R. Martin can provide sounds like a match made in heaven.
Dude, also Nier Replicant, totally forgot about that game. Also looking forward to that. Because the only problem with the first Nier game is that it's really jank, which was the problem with all of those earlier games. Like Drakengard 3 is still a really cool game, but it literally runs at like 7 frames a second sometime. So if that could get a remaster, I'm down for that as well.
Drakengard is kind of...
Dude, people
they're
sleeping
like
on
Musou
Drakengard.
games though, right?
Yeah,
Ish.
kind of. Yeah, they're like a middle point between that and like what Automata is.
Yeah.
But
I
I mean,
Final Fantasy 16 looks awesome. It's obviously really looking forward to Remake 2, but it's cool they're also working on the actual the mainline Final Fantasy games. And the gameplay, they brought on some interesting people like the combat designer for Devil May Cry 5, which people love.
And I think the story designers from the online game, right?
Yeah, Final Fantasy 14, which is known to have like, it's been an MMO, but it's also known to have like an awesome narrative, which is cool. So I'm really looking forward to that. But honestly, like, if I had to choose like between one game to buy, Elden Ring or Final Fantasy 16, like I would definitely buy Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
I'm fine with Elden Ring. Like I'm very excited
Cool.
for Ragnarok, but I think Elden Ring is just intriguing to me. Like because
Like, what is it?
with From Software, a lot of their story is kind of in context, right? Like it's in like swords and little notes that happen everywhere. I'm curious to see what that story is going to be like when they have a renowned writer behind it.
Cool. All right, so our next award is most iconic game of 2020.
It sounds weird because it looks like game of the year.
Yeah, it seems like a game of the year light.
Yeah.
So our actual award 14 will be best anime game, which I really shoehorned in here.
Yeah, he sure did.
So just put it on. Just say it.
We have two whole nominations.
Just say it.
I mean, we should. Okay, there's DBZ Kakarot.
Yes.
And there's One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows. And we're also going to put in Jump Force, even though it didn't come out in 2020, for the sake of conversation.
Hey, I'm going to put, what do you call it? My Hero Academia's One Justice 2 on here.
Yeah, just put all the anime arena fighters in there. I don't care when they came out.
I think Blaze Blue Cross Tag should win.
It did not
come
come
long
out
time
this
ago. That was like
year.
2016.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the new? Is it Grand Blue Fantasy? Is that the
Grand
new one?
Blue Versus?
Yeah,
which Ben and I played at PAX West.
Yeah, I think
It
I
looks
lost
really
every time.
pretty. I don't know what the Grand Blue series is, but it looks really nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's by Arxis, so the graphics are going to look real good.
Yeah. But yeah.
So, yeah, Alex, please tell us about DBZ Kakarot.
Okay, DBZ Kakarot, for
Fucking
better or
piece of
for
shit.
worse, is the best Dragon Ball Z game I've ever played.
So you just press
which is
square?
totally a conversation for a different time. But the thing about DBZ Kakarot is it's made for the fans of the anime. Right? Like if you play this game and you weren't a DBZ fan or like haven't seen an episode, you're really not going to get like any enjoyment after like the first like hour of the game.
All right, Alex,
But-
we get it. It's great. All right, let's
No, keep going.
No, I'm not. I'm saying it's fine. Like for like this is an anime game. Like it's actually really awesome. It's open world esque, right? You're kind of incentivized to explore some of it. There are like these cards you can pick up, and they're all scenes from the original Dragon Ball. So the storyline is just Dragon Ball Z, but you find these things, they're like memoirs of like the original Dragon Ball. So like, this game is just like such a nostalgia boner. It's actually great.
I mean, isn't that like every DBZ game?
Yeah, kind of.
They're not gonna
That's what I'm saying.
talk
This is the
about
best
Super because they're
one.
like, oh, Super. Oh,
They had
no.
DLC for Super. I didn't buy it.
No,
But and then so the thing is like the cutscenes of like the iconic DBZ moments, like Teen Gohan versus Cell, Goku going Super Saiyan for the first time versus Frieza, Goku blasting the Spirit Bomb at Kid Buu at the very end of the series. Like, it's
spoilers, asshole.
yeah for this 1990s anime. and then people say, oh man, this scene looks just like it did in the anime, which saying that is a fucking war crime because, again, it came out in the 1990s. A better way to describe it, and Kohn and I have actually talked about this, is it looks like how you imagined it to be when you were like a kid watching the show.
And the thing is, I never watched it as a kid, so I watched Kai like a year ago, and then I played some of DBZ Kakarot at PAX. And definitely looked a lot better. It looked real good, so I can at least back up that.
Yeah, like it's gorgeous. Like I saved that cutscene, like Teen Gohan versus Cell, like the father-son Kamehameha. Like they know why you're playing that game, and it's
not for the gameplay.
Yeah. the gameplay is fine. It is definitely nothing to write home about. But like in terms of like, this is like a great anime game. Like DBZ Kakarot fits the bill perfectly. Like it is the best game to relive the DBZ experience.
Ralph, what do you have to say to that?
I only wanted to put this
up and got a sandwich while you. I'm just kidding.
No.
You probably should have.
I literally just wanted this award in here so I could talk about DBZ Kakarot because it's not good for any other reason.
Just give it the award,
Alex. Okay. DBZ Kakarot. If you are a fan of the show, I would recommend buying it. It's probably like $30 or less.
But Jump Force?
Yeah, no. Okay. Best action adventure game. Super nebulous.
Yeah, good old action adventure.
Best Action Adventure nominees: Immortals, Phoenix Rising, Neo 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Demon Souls, Watch Dogs Legion, and Last Epic. Somehow made it on here as well.
Me, Last Epic.
I think I'm going to vote for Miles Morales.
I'm going to vote for Neo 2, assuming it's like Neo 1, because that game's awesome.
I think
I played both of them.
What best action is.
Honestly.
I mean, okay, there's a discussion to be had for like action adventure and like skill ceilings and skill floors, because the gameplay of Spider-Man is very like, it looks awesome, it flows really well, but like
it's more cinematic.
Yeah, you don't really have to do too much. Like you can kind of get away with buttons for the most part. Like there's some things you have to think about.
I will say you can adjust the difficulty.
Though. It's hard.
You can die.
The game is hard. Like
if you're not paying attention, you will die.
Like if
guns actually hurt in this game.
Like if you get shot twice, you're dead.
Probably like the hardest difficulty. Yeah. Wow. But granted, like whenever you're going to be hit by literally anything, the Spidey sense goes off and you can push the dodge button.
Right. Yeah.
Like if you don't, like
I think penalties. My point with Miles Morales is you're constantly moving.
Mm-hmm. Like in terms of
it's
like
not even just combat; it's just movement in the city, movement like in combat, like everything. You're always on the move, and it's really great. Like just swinging around the city feels good.
I think just like taking part like literally just action and adventure. I think Miles Morales does it better than Neo 2 because in terms of like the adventure aspect of Neo 2, like there really isn't much.
Yeah,
like all the maps are kind of recycled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like that in Neo 1 as well.
Yeah. So I really like Demon Souls.
You didn't like Demon Souls?
No. I say I really like Demon Souls for this category. I think like back you played the. Well, it's a remake.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't even see that on there. I'd probably switch to that.
Yeah, because in terms of like action, like the FromSoft, like the Soulsborne games are known for their gameplay, and I'm really excited for you to play it, Ralph, because when you see like the adventure aspect, when you're exploring all these areas that have such an identity to them, like it's really something remarkable.
Yeah,
how much identity each area has.
I'm fine with Demon Souls. Like I think that's a respectable.
But I also kind of want to give it to Miles Morales, so I don't know.
It's your call. I'm good with both.
I'm only good with Demon Souls.
All right, so Demon Souls it is.
All right, Demon Souls it is. Best action adventure game of 2020. And our final award, Best New Franchise: Ghost of Tsushima, Among Us, Temtem, Last Epic, Hades, and Grounded.
I think
this is a weird list.
Yeah, I think it should be Ghost of Tsushima. I think the way that I'm thinking about it, like, is what game is going to develop a really good franchise after it.
I mean, does Hades isn't going to be a franchise, right? Because
no, I think it will be.
It's like just a new IP.
No,
I
I think Hades will have a sequel actually.
Oh, really?
I mean, Supergiant's never done that though. Like their thing is kind of doing very different approaches to gameplay from.
Doesn't mean they won't though.
That's true, but
that's I can't prove that they won't.
If you know what I know about the game at the end,
if you're as good as me,
it's not that. It's just I played a lot of Supergiant games in the past. They're very closed and shut. Like the endings are very closed and shut. Hades is not.
Yeah, fair enough.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't have any skin for like all of these in the game for any of these, so I'll leave it to you two to fight it out.
I'm fine with Ghost of Tsushima. Like, I think Ghost of Tsushima has a lot of promise. Like I was saying before, I think it's a fantastic game. There's a lot of room to grow for that game, and I'm very excited to see what 2 looks like.
Yeah, or just maybe it's not even 2, just whatever the next sort of iteration is, because it's been rumored, nothing's been announced. I think like Ghost of Tsushima, it's been in the talks for like being the game of the year.
So was Hades, but
what? That's true, I guess.
So was TomTom.
And just like what it provided, I think exceeded expectations. It did a lot for the fans, like with the new multiplayer mode they added, awesome characters. So yeah, I think in terms of like best new IP, best new franchise, Ghost of Tsushima for sure.
Sounds good.
Cool. Awesome. And with that, we are done with our Game of the Year awards. And the final one, which is just what is the 2020 Game of the Year, that is next episode. Definitely go up, grab a snack, go to the bathroom, whatever for that, because it's a doozy, but it is
a doozy.
Yeah, it's an awesome conversation. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know you guys will enjoy Part B, Game of the Year. So, any last words from you guys?
No.
No, get out of here. Awesome. All right. Well, everyone, fans, listeners, professional and casual gamers, thank you for listening. 2020 has been a wild ride. I hope you enjoyed our Game of the Year award discussion. Let us know through email, Twitter, Instagram, what your thoughts were, how much you agree and think we are awesome with these lists.
Oh my God.
And as always, keep it casual.
Later.
See ya.
Nice.